Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to read the editorial. This is UPSC February 23rd. Read newspaper. Slow progress to creating a safe workplace for women. Read that. R.K. Which is a former Special Director General of Police of Chhattisgarh. The recent case of allegations of sexual harassment that some of India's sportswomen wrestling are said to have faced have shocked us. Those affected had to sit in protest in the capital to make themselves heard. This shows that any internal complaints committee, if there is one, does not function, or the wrestlers were not aware about it. The Visaga guidelines on reporting harassment are meant to be followed by government and private institutions equally. In view of sensitivity of the issue, the Union Sports Minister constituted an oversight committee headed by Lady Olympic medal holder to investigate the charges leveled against the President of the Wrestling Federation of India. Earlier in February 2021, a leading woman journalist celebrated her victory not because the accused person who has harassed her sexually was convicted, but because she was acquitted of accusation of defamation that have been leveled against her by the accused. The truth of the victimization prevailed, and it was held that a woman cannot be punished for raising her voice against abuse. She had raised her voice against her employer and a powerful politician, though a specific offences relating to sexual harassment under Section 354A was inserted in the Indian Penal Code (IPC) in 2013. The allegations largely fell under Section 509I to insult the modesty of a woman of the IPC. The victim chose not to report the matter to the police, and there was no internal mechanism in place for the redress of complaints of sexual harassment as the Visaga guidance were framed by the Supreme Court of India in 1997. But this did not give the employer any liberty to violate the fundamental rights of the women at the workplace. Structural violence data on workforce. Violence in the form of sexual harassment at the workplace is both direct and structural. While an enabling environment for reporting direct violence has shown a gradual improvement, indirect violence remains poorly addressed because it is embedded deep in our social and economic structures. It is more visible in the employment imbalance prevalent between men and women in the organized and unorganized sectors. With more men at the workplace, they feel entitled and empowered to take undue advantage of the historical fact that society is still patriarchal and women are not only in a minority but also occupy a few of the higher positions. The number of matter when it comes to power emanating from the majority, one musters courage to voice one's grievance when there are sufficient numbers in support of the affected person. Also, much would depend on the truth-to-tail ratio of any organization. When the number of women in leadership positions are not enough to generate confidence in subordinates, women in lower positions feel reluctant to air their grievances. The Periodic Labor Force Survey (PLFS) annual report available for 2020-21 shows that though the participation of women in the total labor force grew, i.e. labor force participation rate (LFPR) has gradually increased from 17.5% in 2018 to 25.1% in 2020-21, and the worker population ratio (WPR) from 16.5% in 2017-18 to 24.2% in 2020-2021. It is still much less when compared to men. The LFPR and WPR data published in the latest quarterly bulletin April-June 2022 are not encouraging either. While LFPR is defended as the percentage of person in the labor force among the person in the population, i.e. both employed and unemployed are seeking employment. WPR is the percentage of persons employed among the person in population. Start early at home. The absence of an enabling and safe working environment is one of the factors for the poor participation of women in the labor force. It is generally believed that most women do not complain of sexual harassment under the current redress mechanism is either non-existent or ineffective. They are more vulnerable to exploitation by their employer as they can easily threatened with the job continuity for indecent favors. Unless the mindset of treating men and women as equal is developed at an early stage of character formation during childhood, the stereotype power relation between the two would be difficult to change later. It would not be out of context to mention here a theory of criminology known as nature versus nature, which says that both genetics and the environment affected an individual development. While genes may decide certain features of one's personality at birth, it is socially conditioning and the environment of the family and early schooling which matter the most during the growth of the children. Unless both parents respect each other and treat the girl and boy child on a parent and respects, they grow up learning this inequality is a normal phenomenon which may even lead to the development of criminal tendencies in men. Therefore, the beginning has to be made at home. Fixing goals, similarly, providing a safe work environment is the responsibility of the employer. The employer needs to ensure that the working environment is safe and women friendly. However, it has been observed that whenever allegations of sexual harassment are leveled against the superior authorities, instead of getting the complaint inquired into expeditiously under the law, i.e., the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redress Act 2013, the accused either resorts to multiple attempted litigation to stall the due process or attempts to bring dispute to the victim on flimsy grounds. The situation becomes more complex when the accused himself is at the helm of affairs as in the examples given above. Therefore, it is essential to fix goals to improve the workplace environment for women. The short-term goals may include providing the requisite women-friendly infrastructure, the constitution of internal complaint committees, and the spreading of awareness about the law and procedure of women's affairs. Medium-term goals may include the increase of female participation in the labor force, improvement of tooth-to-tail ratio, and providing incentives to prevent dropouts such as paid maternity leave. However, in the long run, it is essential to address the deep-rooted structural and cultural violence which puts women in a disadvantageous position. Unless society as a whole works incessantly to bring about the required changes in the existing socio, cultural, and economic structure to eliminate indirect violence, root and branch, the status quo may not change. The view expressed are personal. Okay, thank you viewers. Today your first time. Fully read the editorial page if you want to continue my service. Please subscribe. Anything to improve. Thank you for watching. And please subscribe to Black Report YouTube channel.